Welcome back to my backyard and my wood shop. I'm Kirk Anderson. Now this week's video is my shop tour for 2020. But before we get into this video, let's take a look back to see what the shop looked like about 8 months ago. Now this was the shop when I first got it 8 months ago. It was just a shell. Then about a month later, which would be 7 months ago, I did another video, and this is what the shop looked like. So without any further ado, let's get inside and see what the shop looks like today. Well, first, let's look at a quick overview of the shop as it is now. Looks quite a bit different than it did. Well, let's start the tour with the first thing that you'd see once you open up the garage door, the table saw. Many will argue that the table saw is the center or the heart of a wood shop. Now with a small shop like mine, a lot of things are on the walls. Wall space becomes very important. Starting on the front left wall, the first thing you see in the corner there are the tracks for my track saw. And it just makes sense. The table saw is right there, so a lot of the table saw equipment is right there on the wall. I have all my push sticks. I have a cabinet there with all my push blocks and other equipment. I have my thin strip jig. Then I also have all my protective equipment right there. Then I also have my table saw inserts there. And a piece of equipment that has been indispensable is my Incra 5000. Then I also mounted my Craig jig on a board, and that's hanging up on the wall also. Then of course for changing the blades, I have my blade station there. Then I have my sandpaper station. And underneath that, I have my miter gauge. Then I have my cordless drill station. And all of those are up there on French cleats. Now coming around, I have a new piece of equipment, my Earlax 5500 sprayer. Now continuing down this wall, I have all my clamps. Well, not all of them, but a good majority of them. Now coming down to the end of the wall, this is where I put my large French cleat tool wall. And as you can see, I have a bit of tools up on there, including some pipe clamps and other clamps, my planers. Now coming down a little bit to floor level, as you see in the corner, I have my portable AC unit. And being that it's getting to be summertime, boy, that thing is very nice. Now coming back down the wall, I have my benchtop belt sander. And that is actually on a mobile base that I just built, and a video on that will be coming out real soon. Then I have the quick connect for the dust collector to attach to all the benchtop tools. Now on the back wall, we'll start with my cabinets I have up there. This is where I'm storing most of my paints, finishes, and solvents. And as you can see, the drill press is right in front of one of them. So whenever I have to get into that cabinet, I have to move the drill press, which is a little bit of a bother, but not really. Like I said, in a small shop like this, you have to give to get. And there's my benchtop joiner on a mobile cart. Again, my drill press, which is on a mobile cart. My bandsaw, which is on a mobile base. And there's the American flag that I made a few weeks ago. And then all the way in the corner is my planer. Now, on some of these carts, of course, it has a place underneath. Then underneath the planer is my spindle sander. A very important item in the shop between the bandsaw and the drill press is the garbage can. Then, of course, the drill press stand that I built a little while back that has drawers in it, which is very nice for storage. And then underneath the joiner, I have my mortiser. Now starting on the other wall from the rear, the first thing on the wall is the computer. And the computer is basically for my full spectrum laser engraver. Now underneath the laser is my Festool vacuum. And that lowest bucket, that's the water for the laser. Now moving forward, we have my workbench that I just completed with drawers and the sanding box. And yes, that is a little refrigerator underneath the sanding box. And above the workbench, I have a smaller French cleat tool wall. The tools on this one are the ones that I use more often than the tools that are on the larger one. And then above the window, I have a little shelf that I put a light on to give me nice light for when I'm working at the workbench. And there's my box fan air filtration system, which actually does work quite well for a shop my size. Continuing down the wall, of course, I have my French cleats, and then I have a few levels that are hanging up on the wall. Then just right next to that is a couple of air tools. I have my brad nailer, then a little air gun to blow the dust off the table saw specifically, and of course other items. Then below that, I have my router table. Now another view of the router table, and going into the front right corner is another shop cart that has my drum sander on it. Now here's a better shot of the assembly outfeed table. The base has plenty of drawers for storage, which is needed. And of course, the cubby holes in the table get plenty of use with things being put in there. Well, you would think that would complete my shop tour, but that's not my completed shop. Outside, I have a shed next to my shop, which is connected through a box tunnel that houses the piping for the air compressor and the dust collector, which both the dust collector and the air compressor are in the other shed, which frees up a lot of room in the main shop. Well now, that does complete my shop tour. I hope that you got something out of seeing my shop. Every shop is different, but a lot of times you can always pick out something in somebody's shop that said, yeah, that's a good idea. I think I'll do that. And a lot of items in my shop are things that I got from other people. I don't think there's anything in my shop that is 100% my idea. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And as always, all you woodworkers out there, just get out there and cut some wood.